Good morning, buenos dias. My name is Jenny Saul, and I want to welcome you to our third Know Your Right series on accessing community resources and support. Thank you so much for being here. I'd like to thank and recognize a few amazing people in our district that are here supporting our work. Can we give a welcome and thank you to Dr. Hammett, Deputy Superintendent of Fullerton School District? Can we give a welcome and thank you to Rosanna Fonseca, Director of Social Emotional Learning? A thank you to all of our partners that are here today presenting on community partnerships. A thank you to all of our SSA team and community liaisons who are here, and they continue to do the work to help our families be connected with community resources every day. Our tech team, and most importantly, our families. Thank you so much for being here today. Today, we are going to go over programs supporting immigrant families, finding pro bono and low-cost legal aid, and networking with community organizations and service providers. So some of the programs that we have supporting immigrant families, there's the California Department of Social Services, we have Medi-Cal and Covered California, there's the California Immigrant Guide, we have Fullerton School District is full of resources. The Fullerton Collaborative is a collective group with resources. There's OC United, there's the Center for Healthy Neighborhoods, there's Fullerton College Care Program. Any of these resources and community partnerships you can come into contact with by contacting your SSA at your site. Anyone in the office can help you. You can contact the community center. We're all so happy to help connect you with the resources that you might be looking for. And at this time, I would like to introduce Rosie. She's a social worker at the Office of Immigrant and Refugee Affairs, and she's going to speak to us about how we can support families with practical resources.
Thank you, everybody. Good morning, buenos dias. Like Jenny mentioned, my name is Rosie. I am the social worker for the Office of Immigrant and Refugee Affairs. This is a brand new office. We actually are coming up on our 1-year celebration, which actually you are all invited over May 2nd in Santana. If you'd like to know more, you can send us an email. But this office is fairly new. We started in May of last year when Jose, which some of you have met already, started this program, and then I started in July. So what is the Office of Immigrant and Refugee Affairs? So what we are is that we have a mission, and our mission is to create a more robust, direct service infrastructure that promotes belonging, economic prosperity, and equity of immigrants and refugees. We think that this became our mission because it is important for us to create a sense of belonging, because when we feel like we belong, we, in the word that I hear sometimes my parents saying, le echamos ganas. When we feel like we belong somewhere, that we feel welcomed, that it's a safe place for us to be, we keep going, we keep, bringing up new ideas, bringing up new things, moving forward. And so when the Office of Immigrant and Refugee Affairs was created, we understand that immigrants and refugees do make up a big population of our county. Statistically, 1 in 3 residents of Orange County are of immigrant background. So whether that they themselves are immigrants, and it doesn't have to be an undocumented immigrant, there are plenty of different immigrants or from an immigrant family. So we are very much aware that, immigrants and refugees do make up a big part of our community. They're our neighbors, they go to school with our children. And so we wanted to create an office where they can receive services in order for them to feel welcomed, to help bring economic prosperity and the equity. So our vision is that we also want to celebrate. We want to celebrate the differences that we find in our communities. Um, and we've seen this in our schools. They do it a lot. You know, we always have our different cultural days. We have Cinco de Mayo, we have Lunar New Year, we have all these things where we celebrate each other. And even though we are different, doesn't mean that that person is taking away from us or that we're taking away from them. On the contrary, we want to celebrate each other, make each and belong with each other. So we want to create a community where every person, regardless of their journey, regardless of how they came to Orange County, can thrive and contribute. Now we know that a lot of the times there are times when we don't know that we can ask for services. Before coming to social services, I actually used to work um, with a big population that was the immigrant community. And a lot of times I would ask, is there anything that you need? Is there food? Is there this? And a lot of times the answer was no. And it wasn't because they didn't need it. It's because they had a fear that, well, I can't ask for any kind of service because I don't have any type of documents, or I'm going to get in trouble if I ask for help. On the contrary, while there are some programs and some benefits that we might not be qualifying for, that does not mean that that help is not out there. And so if we don't ask for that help, that means that we then ourselves cannot feel stable in our home. When we don't feel stable, we feel like, what am I going to do? How am I going to put food on the table for my children? How am I going to help my child who has a toothache and I don't know where to take them to the dentist? I don't have money. I don't have insurance. That is why we focus on these 5 services. First is education and employment. And I'm going to start off that we do not offer these direct services directly to you, but we can connect you to a resource in the community that will, one, be closer to where you are, but that will be able to help you in whatever journey it is that you're looking for. So education and employment, whether that's I want to take an ESL class and I don't know where to start, or when I came from my home country, I was a doctor and now that I'm here, I don't know where to go, or I have all these skills, but I don't know how to build a resume. We work with different community partners that have resume building that can make us maybe help us find a job where we can use those skills that we learned. Food and nutrition, because we are part of social services as well, we fall under a branch, which means that we also work with some of our colleagues who are not here today, but they can usually help with Medi-Cal, CalFresh, CalWorks. And I know some of us might be thinking, well, I don't have status, so I can't apply for CalWorks or CalFresh. But maybe you have a child who is a US citizen who would then benefit from that benefit. And then in turn, it would benefit the entire family. But just because we might not qualify doesn't mean our children won't qualify. And it's always important that you can always apply and then a worker will talk and go more in depth and about those benefits. Health and mental wellness is another one that we want to focus on. Like I said, if we have a toothache, I can't work the entire day because me duele la muela, or I have a cough, I have a sore throat, whatever it may be, and I don't know where to go, whether it's a clinic or like I mentioned, we can apply for Medi-Cal, assist with that, and mental wellness. This one, we made sure to put it into our services because we know that it's important to focus on our mental wellness. A lot of the times, I know I grew up when hearing, my mom saying, oh, you're not depressed. You just need to clean your room. Go outside and go for a walk. Or, no, no, no. Stop. You're making excuses. A lot of the times we don't, and it's just not our culture, but there are other cultures as well that think the same way when it comes to mental wellness. So we want to highlight that as well in our services to let the community know that it's okay to not be okay and it's okay to seek that help. Housing navigation. Again, this is These last two, housing navigation and legal services, are the two main ones that we've been seeing in this last year. And we know that living in Orange County, it is expensive and it's hard, but there are resources that we can help connect you to whether that may be finding apartments that are at lower cost or things like that. Again, we don't give the direct service, but we will help try to connect you, and as well as legal services. Our office, we are not attorneys, so we cannot provide any legal advice. I can't tell you, no, do this with your case or do XYZ, but we do work directly with a lot of legal service providers who are coming from nonprofits, which means that the service that they offer is going to be either free or at a very low cost. And all of these agencies that we work with are funded by the Department of Justice, which means that from the Department of Justice, they are being told, help your community. And so these are the organizations that we work with and that we usually refer to. I think the clicker went to sleep. Oh, thank you. So why is it important to provide all these resources and all this to all the communities in Orange County? Like I previously mentioned, Orange County, 1 out of every 3 persons comes from an immigrant background. And with that, at a state level, we can see that there are 10,415,500 immigrant residents on the state of California. That's just California. And of those 10 million people, we spend money, right? How many like to go shopping? Even when we don't have money, we like to go shopping. Or we have to go shopping. We have to go buy food. We have to go buy our children clothes, tennis shoes. I don't have children, but I hear that they go through tennis shoes like crazy, like every other month. Out of this 10 million people, they spent $382.7 billion. Not a million, billions of dollars. So it's important that we recognize that this is at a state level. This is how much money is being spent by immigrants. And again, these are immigrants of all backgrounds. Now taking it a little bit lower, this is at Orange County level. In Orange County, there are 956,381 people of immigrant background. And this is from 2024. Sorry, this is 2024, but of a survey from 2018, which is almost 10 years ago. So now we can just think about how much that has changed, maybe possibly grown in these last couple of years. And of those that are of immigrants background, they also paid $10.5 billion in taxes. So while a lot of people might think they don't pay anything, that's the rhetoric that we hear all the time, they've actually paid $10.5 billion in taxes just in the state of California. So with this, that's the way it's important for us is we give our community of immigrants, our neighbors, our families, our friends, give so much to our county that we saw it appropriate that we create a resource hub so that we can get this help. And to know that it's okay to ask for help, that we're not going to get in trouble, that when we need the help, it's important. And I know you've heard me say refugee, or our name says Office of Immigrants and Refugees. Maybe right now we're hearing a lot about refugees, asylum seekers, immigrants, but who exactly are refugees, asylum seekers, and immigrants? A refugee is, and you're going to find that refugee and refugee and asylum seeker are going to sound very, very similar. And that's because it is the exact same thing. The only difference is that a person who is of refugee background applied through an agency, through the United Nations. That was a very long process for them to apply to. But because they applied with the United Nations, I believe it's the United Nations, it's UNHRC. I'm blanking on the word, but they do apply through a certain program. And usually they apply this before they come to whichever country it is that they're looking to seek refuge in. Once they get approved, and that's going through countless and countless of interviews, countless of tests, health tests that are they are made to go through. Once they are off, go through that, that is when they get refugee status. And so a refugee is any person forced to flee their country due to war, persecution, or because their home government cannot or will not protect them. And so when we talk about persecution, there's usually 5 categories that that persecution has to be based on. And that is due to race, religion, nationality, member of a social group, or of political opinion. So in order to get refugee status, a person has to have been persecuted and not kept safe by their government due to one of those 5 categories. Again, race, religion, nationality, member of a social group, or political opinion. Now, a person seeking asylum is also somebody who left their home country because there were fear, because there was persecution, or because there was war, and because their government could not protect them. And again, the same persecution that was for refugees is also for asylum seekers, which is that race, religion, nationality, member of a social group, or political opinion. The only difference is that a person seeking asylum did not apply through the United Nations. Instead, they went to their neighboring country, or they went to the US or anywhere else, and they went to a border and asked, I want asylum. And that's the only difference between a refugee and an asylum seeker, is where they applied for that asylum. And a person without status or non-citizen is a person that was pushed or pulled from their country of origin and found in a secondary country where they encountered no pathway to citizenship. So this could have been somebody that was just, I don't want to be here anymore. I want to go somewhere else. I want to find where there's more opportunities. I'm safe here, but I don't want to be here anymore. And then they just leave. So these are the definitions of refugee, person seeking asylum or asylum seeker, and person without status or non-citizen. And again, it's important for us to know these definitions, or at least recognize what they are, because these are words that we keep hearing in the media. We hear them on the news. Maybe you hear it in passing with other people. But it's important to know that they are different. But at the end of the day, they're all still people that are coming to a different country seeking a better life. So as I mentioned before, we are not legal providers. As much as I would be able to love and give legal advice, I did not go through that schooling, but this is a list of the partners that we work with here at the Office of Immigrant and Refugee Affairs. They are all funded by the Department of Justice, and as I mentioned, they are all nonprofits. So whatever, if you have a question, whether I applied for status and I don't know where I stand, or I've been here for so many years, I want to know, am I able to apply for any type of relief? You can always contact us, and then we will do a quick in-depth assessment of what you're asking for. And then we can connect you to one of these legal providers, or you can contact them directly. Usually, there are these little booklets. If you go outside, you can find them on our table. We do have them in the 7 threshold languages. So we have English, Spanish, Vietnamese, Korean, Chinese, Arabic, and Farsi. If you don't get a chance to take a picture of that, or if you run out and have, because I know we were busy, we have other things to do, you can also scan this QR code and you'll get a virtual copy of this. That way you can have it available on your phone whenever you might need it, or you want to share it with other people who maybe weren't able to be here today. You can always scan this code and you'll find this resource guide so you can have it on your phone. And lastly, I want to thank everybody for being here. Thank you for having us join you all. And if you have any questions, I will be at the back. And then thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Rosie. Also, friends on the webinar and in person, this is being recorded, so you can go. It's recorded and then it'll be posted on our website, so you can go back to this presentation and access that information. Your SSAs will also have this information. Us at the community center will have this information. If you'd like us to print up that slide, we can do that for you. There are many ways that you can contact us to get that information. Next section, we'll be talking about finding pro bono and low-cost legal aid. There is the Public Law Center in Santa Ana. There is Orange County Justice Fund. We have a representative from Churla here today who will be speaking with us next. We have UCI Law Immigrant Rights Clinic. The ARI Center Legal Resources also have information outside at one of our tables, along with the link on our slideshow. And you can visit their websites, you can attend legal workshops, you can contact us. Okay, we're all here to help support. And with that, I'd like to introduce Ms. Yesenia from Churla. Thank you so much for being here.
Yes, please. Good morning, everyone. How's everybody doing? Good. I'm glad y'all drank coffee. My name is Yesenia Altamirano. I am the Orange County organizer for CHIRLA, the Coalition for Humane Immigrant Rights. Could I just see how many of you heard of CHIRLA before? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Okay. So what have y'all heard? Amazing things. Okay. What have y'all heard? Support to immigrants. Okay. Yes. So we're a nonprofit organization based in Los Angeles. We've been around since 1986, since the last immigration amnesty. And our mission is to achieve a just society, to be inclusive of all immigrants, regardless of documentation status. And so we offer different services to the community. As I mentioned, I am the organizer here for Orange County. So what I do here in the community is inform communities that may be impacted directly by immigration about their rights, but I also keep them informed of what's happening in the world of immigration. With this administration, a lot of things are happening, and I'll be talking about it in a little bit. But I want to make sure that everybody got a packet. Did everybody get a folder or a packet? If not, they're going to be at the table and I have some here. But it has resources and information that I'll be going over. We also have our policy department. So currently I'm actually missing a policy a policy meeting where we're advocating at the federal level to see how we can input a policy and bring about a bill, sorry, not a policy, a bill at the federal level to advocate for the I am having a brain moment. What we're trying to do is we're trying to advocate for citizenship for all, especially for folks that have been here for more than 20, 30 years. Like I said, the last time something has happened in regards to immigration and an amnesty has been since 1986. My parents were some of the folks that benefited from that amnesty. And so that's why this work is very dear and near to my heart, because I was the only one born here, but I saw that my siblings unfortunately didn't have the same opportunities that I had, and they had to struggle a little more to get those benefits and continue their education. So for me, that is why I do this work and tell folks that regardless of immigration status, we all have a voice and that we all need to know what's going on. So through that, we work closely with our policy team to see how we can inform the community of what's going on at the federal level, but also at the state level and sometimes at the local level. We were actually one of the organizations that helped create the Office of Immigration and Refugee Affairs that just spoke before me to advocate for that office here at the county level, because we know and we realize that there is a lot of community here in the county. We also have our Department of Education and Outreach. So that is one thing I really want to clarify. I am not the outreach person. I am the organizer, but within organizing, we also do education and outreach at times. However, my main priority is to work directly with the community. And sometimes it's hard for me to say yes to things because we're organizing and preparing to travel, especially in the month of April, May. We're usually preparing for the May Day March that's happening May 1st. And we're also preparing for advocacy days in Sacramento. So we take community members from different areas of California to go speak directly to representatives at the state level. And that's going to be coming up May 12 and 13. So if you're trying to reach me at those times, I unfortunately will have to decline because I'll be in Sacramento, but I can put you in contact with our outreach person. We also have our civic engagement department, our communications, and finally our legal services. So we as an organization do have a legal team, and we do provide free legal consults. However, due to the need of the community, the waiting list is a little bit high because there's a lot of need and low capacity because we have a limited amount of lawyers. So we do suggest that if something is happening and it's like next week, or sometimes they call me and it's like 2 days after the call, unfortunately, it's very hard for our legal team to give those type of consults. Other times folks call me and they tell me they have a lawyer already. And if you already have a lawyer or an open case, unfortunately, it's hard for other lawyers to give that consult. So I really want to make that clear that if you already have a lawyer and you already have a case pending, to go back to that lawyer. Ultimately, when we're hiring lawyers, we're their bosses. So if they're not giving you a call, you be that person that keeps calling them until they get tired of you. Because if we don't advocate for ourselves, it's like us, right? When we have a pile of work, the work that's all the way at the bottom, we're not going to really get to unless something or someone is telling us we have to do it. So we have to advocate for ourselves in that aspect. And our immigrant hotline is our general hotline. So you can, it's in your packets as well. You can give us a call Monday through Friday from 9 to 5 to ask general immigration questions, but also to ask for an immigration consult. Right now, our legal team is only in Los Angeles and San Bernardino, but sometimes if you tell them that you have difficulty traveling, and depending on your situation, sometimes they can give that consult via phone or online. So as we know, a lot of things are happening with this administration and a lot of fear is happening in our community. But like I mentioned, we need to know our rights regardless of immigration status. I myself, like I mentioned, I was born here, but unfortunately, sometimes I have to call myself out. I travel without my driver's license, without any type of ID. And if something were to happen, knock on wood, never that we experience this in this room. But if something were to happen and I encounter myself either with the police or with ICE enforcement, sometimes that leads folks to other issues, right? Because we don't have the documentations to prove who we are or say who we are, right? So One thing that I want you all, if you leave this room today, is to know that we all have constitutional rights, regardless of immigration status. We all have the right to remain silent. We all have the right to deny any body searches or personal searches. And we also have the right to speak to an attorney. Before we sign anything, before we disclose anything, make sure that we remember that. In your packets, there's this actual form in Spanish, and on the other side it's English. Make sure that you put one in your car, make sure that you have one in your house, and remind each other, if it's possible, make a family day where you're remembering this, that we all have rights. And like I mentioned, right now with this administration, we are seeing a lot of things happening in the community and a lot of folks being targeted, regardless of immigration status, unfortunately. So we have to be our first advocates. If someone happens to come to your door, and you're at home, make sure that you don't open your doors. Make sure that you don't open your windows, because even if you crack it a little bit open, for them, they take it as a form of invitation, and they're going to come into your house, rating everything. And unfortunately, sometimes they ask questions till very after. If you're in your car, same thing. Try not to open your whole car window. Crack it a little bit open. Ask why you're being stopped. And ask if you're free to go. If they tell you you're free to go, okay, do so calmly. Don't run. Don't overexcite yourself. Try to take a deep breath. And even though we might be having a little inner panic attack, try to remain as calm as possible. If we're out in the streets, same thing. They might approach you. Unfortunately, we're seeing a lot of these ICE enforcement officials being in regular clothing. So just make sure that if somebody comes up to you, they start asking you questions, ask who they are, what they're there for. Don't answer any questions unless you speak to your attorney. And again, ask them if you're free to go. If they're coming to your car or to your house, by law, they should have a judicial warrant. So in your packets, there's there is a form. There is a form on one side. It is a U.S. Department of Homeland Security ICE warrant. This is a regular ICE warrant. This can technically be used in public, but it should not be used if you're in your house or in your car. Those two spaces are protected by law, that those are your private properties. So if they're trying to come into those, they should be having a signed judicial warrant by a judge, by a federal judge, and they're supposed to have a warrant that says the United States District Court. It has to be signed by a judge at the bottom. It has to have the correct name of the person. So many times, especially in the Latino culture, we have multiple names, and sometimes it's Juan Jose de la Cruz, and then in the warrant they put Jesus Juan. That is automatically not a valid order, because they're supposed to put the right name that you have on your documents. And also make sure that it's within the last 14 days that the federal judge signs it. This includes weekends. A lot of things that we've been seeing is that these ICE enforcements, unfortunately, are happening on Sundays. And many of families that are impacted have their guards down because they think it's a Sunday and they think that government's not working. Unfortunately, we're seeing some folks being targeted on Sundays. So we want to make sure that people know their rights and try to memorize the difference, right? If it says United States District Court, it might be might be a valid federal warrant, but make sure it's within the 14 days. Make sure that there is an immigration, sorry, not an immigration judge, a federal judge signature, and make sure that it's within the last 14 days. Okay. We also have our Orange County Rapid Response Network, which the paper is in your folders. Also, I recommend keeping that in hand regardless of immigration status. If we see something um, or are aware of a movement that's going on, if you can, without putting yourself at risk, try to take a picture of the official, what the cars look like that they're coming out of, and the main streets of that area, and report it over to the Orange County Rapid Response Network. This is our one of the partner orgs that we partner up here in Orange County, and they're the ones that will send out someone out to verify to make sure that it is an ICE official, or if a family, if they have the capacity and a family's afraid, they can also walk with them to make sure that that they know their rights and that the officials aren't extending their rights or violating their rights. So make sure that you have this in hand and try to memorize it. Another big thing that I want to make sure that families leave with today, make sure that your phones are secured by a 4 to 6 digit code. That is the only legal protection that you have for folks not to go into your phone. If you have it where your face is recognized, or you use your thumb to open your phone, unfortunately, that's not legally protected. So if something were to happen and they detain you, they can technically take your phone, put it in front of your face, and it's unlocked. Or they put your thumb on the area, and unfortunately they'll be able to unlock your phone and have access to all your information. So make sure that you put a 4 to 6 digit code, and make sure that you have that as the only way to unlock your phone. Another thing that we're also seeing, unfortunately, is that a lot of families, especially young ones, don't know their phone numbers. They don't memorize their phone numbers because we've been so accustomed to having our phones with us 24/7. And if something were to happen, unfortunately, they're not going to give you your phone. So make sure that you memorize phone numbers of family members that will pick up their phone, because that's another thing. If I were to call my sister, I know she's not going to answer her phone whatsoever because she always has it on silent and she never really answers her phone calls. If I call my brother, on the other hand, I know he's going to answer. So make sure you memorize a phone number from a family member that will pick up their phone. Also, if you happen to be from Mexican descent, make sure that you also memorize the Mexican consulate number, because they can also help in situations where you're being detained, to make sure that you get legal services as well and representation at that moment. So also, I know it's a lot of information. I'm giving you all folders. If you have the ability to get a folder, get a folder. Inside the packet, there has information of what you should all be preparing. I say this again, regardless of immigration status, we should all know where our important documents are, because I am having difficulty finding my birth certificate. So if we don't know where these documents are, especially in the Latino family, we usually leave it to our moms to handle, and that's not good, because sometimes our moms, in my situation, my mom passed away 8 years, and now we're all trying to be adults without her, and we don't know where our important documents are. So make sure that you all know, and everybody in your family knows where those important documents are. If you've been here for more than 2 years, make sure that if you've been involved in churches or in your schools, in your PTAs, make sure that you get letters or reference letters saying that you've been volunteering since those years, because what's happening right now with this administration, they're trying to do expedited removals. So they're focusing on families and folks that have been here for less than 2 years to do an automatic deportation. If you've been here for more than 2 years, and you have that documentation to show that you've been here more than 2 years, you have the possibility of going up in front of an immigration judge to ask for ask for an extension in your deportation and ask for bail sometimes. And that's where the Orange County Justice Fund can help at times. Sorry. It's a lot. And with that, I also want to not leave it in a gloomy note. We also want to make sure that we recognize that we all have a voice. We all have power to inform ourselves and also prepare regardless of may nothing happen to any of one of us, right? Or any of our family members, but we have the opportunity to prepare ourselves with the documents, with these letters of recommendation and reference letters from where you're involved in with your parishes. But you also have the ability to advocate with your representatives. So as Churla, one of our state bills that we're trying to push this year is AB 49. We're trying to prevent ICE officials to coming into public K through 12 schools and daycares. So right now, what we're hearing a lot from the news and from reports in other states and even here, unfortunately, here in Los Angeles, we've already had a case where ICE officials are trying to enter the schools, public schools, to check on children, doing a welfare check, and unfortunately, they're ICE officials. Unfortunately, we don't have a state law preventing that. So we want to make sure that we do have a state law preventing that. And making sure besides that, that the schools also have readiness protocol, because they should not be speaking to your children without your consent, and they should not be speaking to your children without an adult present and also their lawyer present. So make sure that you also tell that to your children. Have those conversations. I know those are hard to have, but have those conversations. And in that note, also have conversations with your toddlers to not open the doors to anyone if they hear door knocking, because I unfortunately always have, when I'm doing outreach in the community where I go door knocking, I unfortunately have 5 to 6 kids opening their doors without their parents present. So in that situation, again, ICE officials will come in to the household and start raiding the place. So making sure that you have those conversations. Another thing that we're asking this year in the budget ask is for funding for high school dream resource centers. So if you're not aware, back in 2022, we passed the bill AB 278 that would allow public high schools to have a high school resource center in their campuses. Right now, we're asking for that funding money to start opening those centers up in high schools, because what we're seeing is that a lot of people have fear to even apply to financial aid and how that's affecting their immigration status. So with that, I'll end it. I'll also just I'll give you homework today. As you, or if you don't know, on April 11th, this administration put into effect the non-citizen registration policy, and it's gone into effect on April 11th. So technically, anyone that is a non-citizen is supposed to register with the government. Before doing that, especially if you happen to not have an justice immigration status, we are advising folks that before signing anything or going into that portal, before doing any of that, to go to an immigration lawyer and get a consultation. Ask what the pros and what the cons are. We are trying to fight this at the court level, but unfortunately, at the moment, it's already being put into place, and we're not sure what the consequences are if you don't register, and we don't know the consequences of what they'll be if you register. So make sure that you talk to an immigration lawyer to answer those questions and weigh out your pros and your cons. Okay? Any questions? Okay, never mind. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Can we please give Ms. Yesenia a round of applause? Also, I wanted to let families know in the webinar, Ms. Yesenia, if you could leave some of those packets with us, we'll have them at the community center if you wanted to come by or if you wanted to ask at your site, at your SSA, and they can come by and get it for you. Also, we wanted to recognize and thank our trustee, Ruthie Hanchett, for being here today. Can we give her a little round of applause? And we're going to move right along. This is some extra information that was added from Ms. Yesenia, again with our immigrant hotline. Again, all of these slides will be provided on the website for you to access because the next section is actually a friend who couldn't make it today, but I didn't want to take their slides off because the information was useful. So I'm just going to go over it super quickly. This is one of my favorite part of networking with community organizations as our program specialist with community schools. Sorry, I'm talking really fast. This is a joy and this is my heart, is making those connections and helping families with our community organizations. So this involves, local resource fairs, community meetings, coming to any social media following that you see, because we post a bunch of different resources online as well. The next group that was coming was the Asian Americans Advancing Justice of Southern California group. And Ash couldn't make it, but I didn't want to take the slides out because the information is important. I'm not the expert, but I will just guide you through it. So it's preparing immigrant communities what families need to know. A lot of it has already been touched upon, so I just wanted to reiterate. It's all about being prepared. Have your documents together for your family. Shirla, when Yesenia asked us earlier what we knew about it, I was like, oh my gosh, that's where we got our family preparedness. That's where we got our caregiver affidavit. That's where we got all of our documents that we've been utilizing at all of these Know Your Rights meetings. So this is just more information talking about the red cards. We even had Shirla brought us, so we have Spanish red cards, we have Korean red cards, we now have Vietnamese red cards. Here's some information of their webpage for the ajsocal.org/immigration. And some more resource sharing links. I just wanted to keep it, even though our presenter is not here, you can access these on our website. And next, we have our very own Gabby from OC United. Can we give her a big round of applause? Although I don't exactly see her anymore. I could start because I worked at a site that had OC United, and it is an amazing organization that really focuses on relationship rebuilding. Because a lot of our families have been going through trauma, and OC United at the heart of it is in that relationship rebuilding so we can rebuild trust. Does she have to go? Okay. Yeah, Miss Eaglet, would you like to come up and talk about? Sorry, that was really fast, but we're coming back. So I just wanted to zoom. We have a resource fair coming up very, very soon. Let's give a round of applause for our Center of Healthy Neighborhoods at the Richmond Community Center.
Thank you so much. Hello, good morning, Fullerton School District family. We're so happy to be here. You see, we're always part of this family, an amazing family. I have pleasure to be your DILA president for 9 years. You see, and we have so many changes in our school district, and that is how we become family. Now we're gonna have in May 3rd, because our community was asking for our health fair this year. We have already 269 participants. They're gonna be part of, and we have the support of Ketchum University, Hope University, Cal Optima, Providence, all the network, Ultimate, they're coming to our event. We're gonna have vision, we're gonna have glucose, we're gonna have resources, we're gonna have food pantry. We're gonna go, give food to our community. And our fire department is gonna do the breakfast for the community, and the police department the lunch for the community. We're gonna have baile folklorico and a lot of demonstration of Zumba and yoga for our community. Our center, it was, founded 10 years ago. And this was the dream our founder, Dr. Jessie Jones, that she wants to bring a community center to the neighborhood from Cal State Fullerton. And that is what it makes the difference in our community. We have the support, our amazing Cal State Fullerton. Here we have one of our interns, our beautiful Rocio. Yes, she is an inspiration. We have, over these years, we have more than 879 interns coming to our center, helping in different roles like tutors, mentors, and coming, to help every day, like our wonderful Rocio, to do internship. And then they go, to higher education, more higher, like master, PhD. And we still have our interns, they come back when they're getting their PhD to give us thank you. And they bring this information wherever they go in the United States and even overseas. And we are very proud of that. And this center makes such a big impact in our community, because before our kids, higher education, it seems like a dream, but it's something that we can achieve if we all support our students. And for that, we invest in our community. And proof of that is our amazing Ana Madera and Rosa Altamirano. These amazing moms make a difference. When it was a pandemic, you remember all of us giving food to the community, and a lot of parents from Pacific Drive, from Maple, from Richmond. We have in our resident leader group, we are 38, 36 amazing women and 2 wonderful men that barely speak because the 36 amazing women don't let them speak so much, but they are very knowledgeable. And this, it make a big difference. And these amazing moms, they make a difference in our community. And we have this powerful, and then we have our dear Alma Chavez too, that she's part of our group too, our leadership group. And so many of you, they come to the center, like Miss Rosalba. We have different resources. We have our tutor program. We have Zumba and yoga classes, absolutely free to the community. We have different research and classes, workshop, mental health. We have our cooking classes with St. Jude. We have the nurses coming to our center, helping, in different topics to the community. And for that, the big need in our community right now, health, because a lot of people are losing their medical. It's unbelievable, but a lot of people are being cut out of the system. And this is one of the ways that we want to help our community. And for this, you're going to have the flyers outside. Please, we need the all of you to register if you want to get the services, because for vision especially, we have a cap that is, 80 to 100 individuals. By now, we have 69. That means we have a few spots left. If you know someone that needs the resources, please come and join us. And, well, look, I would like our wonderful Rosa and Anita to say something. Rosa, ¿qué quiere decir? ¿Lo puede decir en español? ¿Cómo se siente pertenecer a usted? Español.
Pues me siento muy bien.
Muchos cambios.
Bastantes, muchas ayudas también. Yo me siento muy bien.
And look, Ana Madera, she came to city council to speak for first time in public, because she doesn't like it. But she was one of the parents, and Miss Rosa, to fight to get our crossing guard here for Nicholas. You see, Ana, how was the experience?
A mí me da miedo hablar en público y ahí hice la luchita, ¿verdad? Con muchos nervios, pero hice la lucha para poder, como que nos apoyaran para poner el muchacho que nos ayuda aquí a cruzar. Ajá.
And you see, everybody can do it. And this we do it because the city Everybody pay attention when we have parents and we have the support our amazing school district. A big applause to our school district because without them, we cannot achieve it because the fight was with the city to get the funding, but we always have the support of our school district. And because these seminars and amazing, centers here like Jenny, Alma, and all our family here from the school district that support and invest in the parents is because we have amazing leaders in our community. Please talk to everyone, tell them about the health fair. And if we have more people coming, we can talk with Ketchum to maybe, get more spaces for vision. And we hope to see you May 3rd. Thank you so much. Yay!
Thank you so much. It's so good to have the Richmond Community Center here. And what a great event coming up on May 3rd, 9 o'clock. Please don't get dizzy. I'm about to go back a bunch of slides real fast. And with that, I would love to introduce Ms. Gabby from OC United.
Buenos días, mi nombre es Gaby Garcia. Good morning, it's my turn. It is a privilege to be here with you, especially during these hard times. I'm going to explain a little bit what OC United is. I work there for the last 9 years, and now I start just being an assistant on after-school program at Valencia Park. And now I am the director of community service. And then here we are. I wanted to put visuals because I think we can explain better who we are and what we do. We have pictures from the during the pandemic, and Valencia Park Elementary School. That's my heart. Those children, they are now in high school. Some of them, they are volunteers in our program. Some of them, they are gonna be working with us. Back then, we had volunteers from the high schoolers, and now they are staff of OC United. We are in the neighborhood. We want the neighborhood to thrive. That is the heart. I was thinking, how can I explain in very simple way what we do? We connect, we equip, and the transformation. And it is beautiful to see the transformation through the years. It works for the last 10 years. An example, in 22, we had several cases in domestic violence. Now these mamas, we took them to El Camino, and now they have the social number and the working permit. And that is families with a life destroyed, and now they are thriving. And I think that is one of the samples we want to see. When we start the after school program, we love the children. I love the children, but we see the need of help the parents. And that's when we start seeing the need of the community, and we try to meet that need in the community. I'm having bad allergies, then my voice is gonna be funny, but I am not contagious. I am allowed to be here. Right now we have an after school program here in Nicolas, and we have continuing having a program in Valencia Park with the blessing of FSD, with the support of Fullerton School District and partners. We have high school after school program in the Gilbert Community Center. The Gilbert Community Center, we started 3 years ago, and it is thriving. It is the big house for everybody, la casa para todos. One of the things, as soon as a person enters for that Gilbert Center, we see the person, we hear the person, and we value the person. That is the heart of who we are. We have domestic abuse support groups there. We have sexual assault support groups also. We have health and wellness Friday morning. And Ms. Dora and Ms. Alma, they have the flyers and they pass it around. I don't want to overwhelm you. We have a folder already in the Gilbert Center with all information from the workshops regarding immigration. Then we have it's very cozy, and you can go there and explore the folder again, take your time. Or if somebody is not here and is your neighbor, your friend, your tia, or somebody just send it, I'm pretty sure Ms. Alma has the same information, and then depends on Gilbert Community Center is more of the south. It is a space there when you can go and open the folder and explore and get phone numbers and go through this. I know this era with this immigration is trauma. Also United, we are trauma-informed environment. We are equipped to provide resources and support in any trauma. We took a human trafficking workshop with Rudy. It was great. We had also workshops already in Spanish, not in that organization, but through another one, that you discover your value. You found your self-esteem. You improve your life. One of the things, like when I started working here, I was so shy. I wasn't able to talk in public. I wasn't able to believe in me. I am a result of OC United investment. They have been training and after training. And what it happens to me is happening to the community. I put it in Spanish. I wanted to be respectful. Can you go through the next one? Thank you. Through the years, we have been helping our ladies to become community leaders alongside with St. Joseph Providence and with Orange County Health Agency. We have two cohorts of community leaders that they go to the city hall. They can sit with stakeholders. My shy ladies, they are able to talk with this Dr. Pleka, with the mayor of the city, to talk and represent the community and the needs, the changes we need, the investment in the parks and programs. It is very deep and I am so proud of them. They are working right now. Another thing also United does, we have 4 condos where we serve foster youth that they never had nothing. They are coming with a lot of trauma and we got them. For how many years, we can tell. We provide housing, we provide training, life skills to be ready to seek healthy life. We have a house also that it is with foster youth, and one of them, she's now the boss. She started the program and now she's the case manager. And that is a beauty to see that transformation, that investment. We also have Just for Life. It is a person who goes to the shelters and train our homeless friends with life skills and help to get a job and go back to society. We partnership with the police, we partnership with FSD, we partnership with everybody to be able that the residents have what they need to thrive. We also have food distribution at the Gilbert Community Center. Every Friday, it is a lot of work, but before we were 7 staff 9 years ago. Now we are 27. Then we can do this. Also, we are gonna be partnership with another organization that is gonna bring a food mobile market truck to the neighborhood. The city gave us a permit, yeah, then soon you are gonna be seeing that truck and everything, it is free. What we also for the youth foster participants, we have Tribe Academy, 6 months. And it is beautiful to see how they grow and how they are prepared for life. We have Tribe Nights, Wednesday night, where 18 years and older, they can come and be part of it. It's life skills. If you know somebody who is in need, let us know. Can you go? Well, you can see the story there. FSD, the city, Valencia Park, advocating for the city, being in the street, giving away food, healing during the pandemic. The mayor back then, Bruce and Ahmad. I think what OC United wants is a community to thrive, to find the ways to heal. We are not alone, especially in this era with this administration. They don't define who we are. We are ready to survive 100%. So many hardship and injustice that we are gonna survive this. But this is the key. Come to the workshops, sorry, I'm not at church. And then get information, look for help, look around you. These beautiful people from the school district, they have a profound respect and love for the community. That's why they are doing this. And so many organizations, they have been here. One of the things, and it's my advice as a Miss Gabby, don't take this administration to your house. They can be there. Our children, they don't need to know. Don't put fear on them. They are gonna thrive. We came to this country and suffer so many injustice and hard things, and we are gonna survive this. I am one of them. I know what it is with no legal documents, but here we are. And if I make it, you are gonna make it. Learn English. We are partnership with NOCE, and we have English classes at the Gilbert Center at night, child care provide, and Valencia Park in the morning. And believe me, that's the beginning. So many people said, Miss Gabby, I can't retain, I don't know. The first, the second, the third, the fourth, the fifth class, you are not gonna get in anything. But you already have a notebook and you are writing the words. And I used to feel patience with one word until get here. I used to clean houses the whole day, go to class at night. Then if I make it, you make. If I made it, you can make it. Then it is no difference. Then questions are there? And I think that's it.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. And we are going to ask that our presenters come up to the front. So Miss Yesenia, Miss Rosie, Miss Iglet, Miss Gabby, so that we can open it up for questions. However, we do in a respect of time, because we are on a campus and this campus is getting ready to get ready for lunch. We will be ending our webinar, but please feel free on the webinar if you have questions. Reach out to us. We have all of these connections right here that is on your screen. Please call the numbers, reach out to the emails, ask the questions. We will do our best to answer for you. Just for the sake of time, I do have to end the webinar.